Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Hey, good morning, folks.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat.
Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are.
There it is, team. Morning. Morning, wherever you're tuning in from today.
Early bird gets the worm, they say. Here at Positive, we offer a 6-star team. It's a team that help you at every stage of your wealth creation journey.
Hello, good morning and happy Monday, everybody. And I can see actually Kevin's already on from Lakeland, Florida, and that got me thinking, Kevin, you know, I actually had a property in Lakeland, Florida, and also one in Pensacola, Florida. That is a different story for another day, and I'm not talking American property today, but just wanted to acknowledge I know exactly where you are, Kevin. It's good to see you all the way from the US. And Carolyn, great to see you down there from Tassie as well. G'day, Courtney from the Goldie. Brilliant. Great to see everybody. And I just want to acknowledge that I have another fantastic team member helping me today, and that's Emily Miller, another one of our amazing advisors here at Positive Real Estate. And she's just so multi-talented. So really appreciate Emily giving me a hand this morning. Now, we often talk about the 1% Club, and the 1% Club is 3 investment properties. And the reason we talk about that is only 1% of Australians get to 3 investment properties. And I feel it's a really, really good goal for people to start working towards. So what I thought I'd do today is a quick case study on somebody that got to those 3 properties in about 7.5 years. So I'll show you this in a moment. But it just helps you to understand that getting to the 1% Club, for example, after you've got your own home, is a very achievable thing to do, but it doesn't happen instantly. We know property ownership and building wealth through property takes a while to achieve it, and you start out in acquisition mode. Now, in acquisition mode, you're going to spend a lot of time in high debt. And I'll show you some of those ratios in a moment, because a lot of people get into their properties with equity from another property, which means one property you could get equity from your home, and the equity will pay for deposit and costs on your investment property. And then you will be using a loan with another bank to buy that property. So like 104% loan to value ratio when you get started. Good morning, Jeff. Great to see you. And I'm really proud of what you're achieving there. And you were 4 years. I know you're a bit of a winner there. And boy, did you choose some incredible properties. I almost chose some of the properties that you've been involved in, Jeff, but I wanted to go with just some nice, simple things for people to understand, because you really got some unicorns there. But let's get started. Now, I realize a lot of people are listening to this on audio, so I will try and get the information out across audio as well. This lovely couple had their own home in Sydney. And it was a modest home in Sydney, and they paid down quite a lot on that and had some nice equity in that property. So all of the 3 properties that I'm going to show you that they purchased with either equity from their home or equity from one of their investment properties. So they were 100% or 104% debt with each of these when they got started. So the first one is a 2-bed, 2-bath, 2-car apartment that they bought in Canberra. Now, this was off the plan in 2017, way before we'd heard of COVID, right? And they were just on their journey. It wasn't about the news. They weren't listening to the news. They were just on their journey to get into that 1% club. So the off the plan price for this 2-bed, 2-bath, 2-car was $420,000. And now we'd love to be doing similar at 420, I know. This property actually settled in 2019, and they started getting a rent of $480 per week straight away. Now, at the time, Canberra had a very, very good yield, and it was one of the reasons that they wanted to get into this property first to get some nice rental yield on that one. Let's fast forward all the way to today, and they're now getting a whopping $790 a week for this property. And the price for this property was the value now is $865,000. So that means they've made some really nice uplift in this property. The next place that they also used equity from their home. And this one was a house and land in Pallara. So it happened to be 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. And the contract, they did the contract in 2020, and remember, all during COVID, so they didn't listen to the news, they just got on with it. They had 4 months till land rego, so they couldn't start the build until 4 months after they'd signed the contract. And it was a 9-month build. For a while there, after COVID, the builds did push out quite a lot, but this one got through in 9 months, which was lovely. And then that was completed in 2021. Their purchase price when they signed the contract was $609,000. The valuation today is 1.07. So from 2020 to 2025, they've gone from a value of 609 to a valuation now of 1.07. The rent that they were getting back in 2021 was $527 per week. Now, that didn't quite cover all the costs then, so it was not cash flow positive in the beginning, but they now are getting a whopping $840 a week for that property. I dare say they could probably even get a little bit more, and there's some more on the horizon. So again, that property is now cash flow positive. It wasn't at the time, and in fact, I think they turned this one into P&I just to pay some debt down and get a little bit of a lower interest rate on that one. Okay, let me go to the next slide. The next slide. This is interesting. They actually were going to move. And so they bought a property in Melbourne that needed a bit of work. This was not a new property, and it started out as a 2-bed, 2-bath, 1-car. They did go down to Melbourne, and they had the capacity to renovate the property and add an extra bedroom. Now, they did it themselves, and the money that they spent on this renovation was $47,000 because they thought it was going to be their own home. They put cash into that. So this is the first time out of these 3 properties that they've put cash into the deal, but they added another bedroom. And that $47,000 was their cost for materials. They did the labor work themselves, but they turned it into a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1-car property. They didn't end up living there, and so they stayed in Sydney with jobs, whatever happened with their jobs. But it meant the valuation today is a whopping $980,000 because they added that extra bedroom. Their rent started out at $553 per week. Now that they've got the extra bedroom and we're in 2025, it's $805 per week. So let's summarize what this looks like for this couple. It was, wow, it's a really small slide there I'm looking at it from. So it was a 7.5-year timeline, and everything was bought with equity from either their home or one of their investment properties, except that $47,000 that added another bedroom. I'm going to have to pull up another version of this slide because it's too small for me. I can't see it. I've done all the work and can't see it. Am I going to be able to pull up another one? Here we go. I'll pull it up over here. Sorry. Just got to pull up another slide, but you're getting to read it, I hope. But the poor people doing the audio, I need to make sure I've got all of the information out for them. Okay, so timeline, it was 7.5 years to acquire these 3 properties. And like Jeff said, he did it in about 4 years. So it can be a lot faster, but I just wanted to go with a nice, easy timeline for you. The equity that they produced from these 3 properties, wow. So the total value of these 3 properties was 1,749. The value today is 2.915. That's a difference of 1,166,000 in equity that they have created from debt in the last 7.5 years. That's not including their PPR in Sydney. Okay. So they started those 3 properties with a loan to value ratio of 104% because they paid for the stamp duty and costs as well out of debt. That loan to value ratio has now gone down to 60%. So 7.5 years, and they've got that loan to value ratio down to 60%. Chances are they'll be on track to get their next one soon. That has produced a cash flow of $126,000 per annum. Now, remember, that $126,000 didn't exist before. And now they've created a cash flow in 7.5 years of 126. Granted that there is some of that cash flow is going out to pay interest and costs, and a little bit is going out to pay principal, but they have still created 1.166 in net worth from those 3 properties. So just wanted to show you what's possible in, say, a 7-year period. And the most important thing is getting started with a really good plan where you've had the research, the help, you've had mentors who've done it before, because you don't want to be making mistakes along the way. So having those mentors can help you create incredible net worth along the way. And of course, majority of the time, all they're doing is looking at their statements once a month, making sure the bank accounts are on track, once a year, checking rents, watching that the property managers have done their inspections and everything's okay in their inspections. So as long as everything goes to fairly well to track, you don't have to do too much. Next time I jump on Wealth Coffee Chat, I'm actually going to tell you some of the problems that we've had in buying property, and then still the end result has been amazing. So it's something that the majority of the time it's passive income, passive work. Sometimes you have to get involved, make some decisions, fix a couple of things up, and you certainly have to have the right mindset to do that. So guys, just want you to see that 7 years, incredible things are possible. And of course, if you think about those properties in 10 years' time, let's say 15 years' time, and they've doubled, then you've made incredible equity in those as well. And of course, yes, your gross income's going up, your net worth is going up. And then when you get to retirement, it's giving you a lot of choices depending on how long how long you've given yourself before retirement. So again, it's about time in the market, not timing the market. And as Jeff says, make it passive and then keep taking overseas trips. That's a passion of Jeff's. Passion of mine is definitely going traveling. I know all of the coaches are very good travelers as well. It's like work hard, play hard. So get your property portfolio working for you, and then you get lots and lots of choices. Guys, I hope this has been really helpful for you. If you would like to hear from any one of the coaches and have a have a one-on-one with any one of the coaches, please get in touch with Positive Real Estate. That's it for Wealth Coffee Chat today. Emily, thanks for all your help. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Happy Monday.
Thanks for watching another episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.